Welcome to the Dicebox and Tombstone Blues. At the moment, our intrepid band of wasteland hunters of sorts are currently recuperating at a farmhouse after things happened. Um, Alloy, because Muffin ran off and accidentally abandoned Reba to the not so gentle ministrations of these bone vine puppet things that uh, clawed her unconscious, and she somehow wound up tied to. She still hasn't entirely got a good look at what she was tied to, and given that she was about to be fed to like alligators and buzzards and gods only know what else, she really didn't care that much by that point. Um, she was fortunately for her set free by more of these little puppets. These ones apparently small, trying to be adorable children, and managed to flee. Um, Meanwhile, the rest of them, once they found out that Reba was missing, had a delightful comedy of errors, wherein they searched the shed and found the makings of these things, and Jillian, under instructions from the Lord Almighty, torched the book that that apparently told how to make them, because nobody else saw it but her anyway. Um, then they broke into the actual house and did find a map that pointed them in the general direction of the swamp. But couldn't do much more than that before the local law showed up. Nobody quite got that they were trying to be helpful, except possibly Alloy, who no one listens to because no one's used to Alloy having any semblance of common sense. So, magic tried to happen. That didn't quite work. Shooting then happened. That worked just fine. Um, so, Reba and Jillian are pretty badly hurt. Caleb is not as badly hurt, but he did have to have a bullet fished out of his shoulder. And now they are in the farmhouse that Reba thankfully found her way to get patched up and have the sheriff yell at them about, God, I hope you guys don't play cards. You cannot bluff or read a bluff worth shit. So now they are being fed stew, and the lady of the house, the house is next door is apparently run by one of the deputies who, at the very least, Jillian did manage to command to run away. One of the three. The other two didn't pay remote bit of attention, but never mind. Um, then basically the lady of the house is now trying to find you guys beds because there's no way you're going out until the healing has kicked in a bit more, and possibly discussing what you're going to do. When you're healed up and actually ready to do shit, because the sheriff has gone, I can be a distraction for you, but you're gonna need a plan first. Over to you. Oh yeah, and Alloy has a black eye because Reba punched her.
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I ain't deciding anything until I get some sleep.
That sounds logical. Everyone could definitely use recovery time.
We could wait until the morning, but we can't wait too long.
Yeah.
In all fairness, Ms. Common Sense and Ms. Brains, um, given that all you can do right now is talk, it might be wisest to plan now and actually do when you're feeling better, instead of just being grumpy at each other?
What?
Or is Reba just desperately wanting to be grumpy at people until she feels like not being grumpy at people anymore?
She's been a bit wrung out. I mean, it's honestly a fair bit of exhaustion at this point.
Mm.
It's not. So yeah. I know there's not much else we can do right now except hash out what we're doing tomorrow. I'm bloody tired. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be a bit short until I can get some good rest. I'll try if you guys want to hash it out now.
I'm game for hashing things out as soon as possible, since several of us want to apparently jump to it the minute we're better.
Looking at the woman basically covered in bandages and badly shredded shirt.
Reba, can you go over what you saw again about this Undertaker?
That I can do. Okay. So I woke up strapped to something. I still don't know exactly what it was. Table, hell, for all I know, it could have been a door on some rocks. I don't even know. Anyway, something, and it was tall, skinny, looked like an Undertaker. The face, space, even had little spectacles drawn on it. And he seemed to look over me, make realize I was alive, and I don't know if me being conscious mattered at that point, but that's when he reached down, opened one of the bandages because apparently they'd kept me from bleeding out, probably to feed me to the alligators at that point, or buzzards or whatever. Everything seemed to kind of defer to it. After it seemed to stand like that'll do. Everything else kind of, from what I could tell, faded into the swamp, and then eventually so did it. I don't really have much more detail than that. I was in a bit of a way, and I proceeded to squirm for about an hour and a half, and that's when the three little ones showed up. They didn't come near. They just sort of looked from afar, and they felt cute and sad and scared, but like more scared, like, whoa, we're gonna get in trouble, like little kids. But they didn't come near. They just, I kind of motioned as best I could, get me the hell out of here. And next thing I know, my wrist is free.
Well, they did come close enough to untie one.
Oh, they did untie it. I thought they just kind of
No,
made
they
it do.
they actually untied it.
Oh, they did. Okay, that
They
wasn't
got
clear.
closer than you thought they did. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to see them very well because you can't turn your head
Ah,
that far.
good point. Yeah. Wait. Wait a minute. No, thinking back on it, I take that back. Sorry, things are a little hazy. They did get close enough to undo one of them. But yeah, the whole time, like I say, they felt like they were supposed to be cute. As far as the Undertaker thing goes, like I said, I don't really have. I mean, that's when I was just waking up. And the only reason I saw as much of its face as I did is because it was literally over mine. Yeah, that was, but it tall, unnaturally skinny.
made the same way as everything else?
Yes.
But wearing what? Wearing clothes? Or just looking vaguely shaped like
No,
clothes?
it had a suit.
So
It was
all of
wearing
the
a suit.
rest don't wear anything. This one does.
Well, to be fair, the two. Okay, no, the one. No, two of you have actually seen them. They. The monsters don't so much. They're a lot of foliage and patches of fur and leather. The ones that are supposed to be human-ish do wear approximations of clothes. It's just that the Undertaker, as you're calling him, is the best dressed of the lot of them. I mean, you've got on the little ones, it was sort of an impression of short pants and scraps of calico put together, kind of like a dress by someone who can't sew worth shit and is trying to make something that looks like clothes on something that doesn't fit the average bit of clothing, but no,
Yeah,
they
the Undertaker was the best. Was the best dressed of the bunch. The more human ones had clothes ish, very badly made, but they weren't exactly fitting on an actual body, so it kind of makes sense. And also, whoever made them didn't know what the hell they were doing. Uh, but the monsters that took me out, yeah, not so much. Uh, Very well monstrous. Fur, patches of leather, patches of fur, just monstrous. Um, you, Jillian, you said you saw one.
I saw one of the children.
Right.
It was like you described, nervous but curious enough to do something. Knew it probably shouldn't.
Like, oh, well, oh, you meant talking to you?
Hmm.
Well, ish. Communicating,
Yeah, as much as it could.
brother.
But the
Well,
problem
And you got
is
them.
how they hide themselves. Like when
Ye-
you and Aloy got jumped, you didn't see anything coming, did you?
if we had, we would have avoided the tree.
Mm. Like,
Yeah.
From what I can tell, that seems to be
Oh,
the big.
Aloy, how's your head, by the way?
Fine enough. I'll probably be 100% once I've actually rested, same as the rest of you. Just, you guys need a lot more rest than I do. I could probably stand to sit around a few hours poking at Muffin, make sure everything's 100% together.
Before you play with your tin dog, is there
But
anything with your science
hang on.
or with your talking to Jesus or with any of your root work that we can put together to try and work on us being able to see these things? That's the biggest thing. We could sneak
What?
around if we could actually have a clue where they were.
everybody give me a straight intelligence check.
I didn't hear any of that
Yeah,
on my
your
end.
your sound is a bit bad. Basically, what he's asking is there anything you can do to make them visible?
Ah,
Haha, Jillian! Bravo!
uh,
Oh my
damn.
god!
What is he thinking?
All right, straight intelligence coming up.
Yeah, no, Caleb was the one who asked the question. This makes sense.
Oh, that's con. There it is.
Yeah, no, it's Jillian and Alloy going, okay, look. Well, with Jillian, well, sorry, with Alloy, it's the maths, it's the numbers, it's okay. When we were outnumbered 2-1, they couldn't do anything to us, directly to us. They couldn't physically touch us, but they could, for example, knock a tree down. And we couldn't see them. But Reba only saw them when she ran away, which means that the odds changed from 2 to 1 to 4 to 1, which is when they could touch Reba. So it's a numbers thing. You can't see them, and they can't touch you unless they outnumber you by a certain amount. Which, given what happened to Reba, is probably 3 to 1 odds before they can physically hurt you. Jillian basically gets. I mean, she's been listening to all this, so she's been getting that basic idea as well. I mean, she knows the only reason she saw them was because, you know, the Lord helped and supported at that point. But in Jillian's case, it's sort of okay. There need to be a certain number of them before we can see them, and if we could keep it to we can sort of see you, but you can't hurt us, maybe you could try to communicate with some more of those little cute ones, if there are any left, and get some better answers.
Mm,
Also, Alloy, given how high your nat 20 roll tends to be, one thing you'll notice is that you would have noticed in the shed, now that you're no longer panicking over Reba, some of those were made to be worn like a mask, not just propel themselves like a puppet. You might have got more from the book that Jillian burned, but you gotta wonder whether, what would happen if someone wore them? Would you be able to see them properly then? Would they mistake you for one of them? Would you be beholden to the same rules as they are? It's an interesting experiment, if kind of creepy.
Okay. If I've got my numbers right, if they outnumber us about 3 to 1, then they can actually fully be seen, touch us, and hurt us. Any other odds that's more balanced, they can't even actively directly go for us. The indirect thing that was the tree was because of that. And then there's the stuff from the shed. Some of those looked like they were built more to be worn, not just built. So, what would happen if, say, we had a set of essentially masks and kit like that? We could maybe go in and not even be noticed, or maybe we would also be able to turn invisible the same way. It's something I'd have to actually poke at, but
putting
this is
on those
all.
things might very well
We're
put
missing the one thing that would have told me directly whether or not that was the case, but at this point, can't do anything about that.
fiddling with these things. Might put you under the thrall of the Undertaker or
on the
whatever other
on,
powers at work.
on the other hand, other natural 20, the thrall can't be that big a deal if things that were made to look, act, and think like little kids are thwarting the damn things.
But when I saw the one, it was just one, and I had a glimpse of it, and when I stepped away from Caleb a little bit, it was there in full. I was able to communicate with it. So
You had a wee bit of help.
maybe, but
No, you would know.
oh, okay. Yes, but nonetheless, it shows that there was a way to see them. It's just not exactly something I can do on command.
And
Well-
then there's the fact that they're kids and they're sort of the ones, though they're equivalent to kids, and even with all this thrall stuff, they're still acting independently.
Well, they're at least
Well,
acting like little kids, at least.
While
mean-
they can get in trouble,
Yeah.
they don't have the same mind.
Well, they disobeyed enough to save your life.
Exactly.
If there was thrall involved, they wouldn't have been able to do even that.
Mhm.
They're apart enough to talk to you or communicate to you, and apart enough to save my ass.
Mhm.
Okay, I tell you what. I'll take the risk.
Do we want to also go for the shed again? Maybe get the stuff out of there?
That's what I'm saying. We go to the
There's
shed,
4 of us.
grab the masks. I'll put one on.
Oh, there's 4 of us. If we stick together, it seems like there would need to be a good number of them to show themselves, so that we know we need to worry about falling trees again or other traps.
And
And
plus, we
if-
can go quickly under certain influences.
Mhm.
We
And
can
if
be sneaky.
the mask does work, then we can see if anything's trying to come behind us. Go towards where Reba was strung up in the swamp, and I guess see if we can lure out the Undertaker. If there's something significant out there, I imagine it'll want to keep us from poking around.
And even if it doesn't turn up to drive us off immediately, we can still get information to resolve even more of this. Because the
So-
more we know, the more equipped we are to actually turn anything it's got on itself, counteract it, destroy it, whatever.
I know that we talked about it before, but I don't remember. Did the sheriff actually go out to the shed himself, or just listen to us tell about it?
He went before, I think. Was the impression that you'd got. He said he searched the property. He talked about arts and crafts projects.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, he didn't give much indication because he didn't know you. Also, while Caleb is ruminating on that, there's a scrabble, 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 scrabble noise, and suddenly each of you are more or less wearing at least one kitten.
Hi? Oh boy.
Hey, little one.
In Caleb's case, it's like one on each shoulder and one has landed atop his head.
I think
Since
coming
I'm
off the
standing,
living
is mine
fur.
basically trying to climb me?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just, into the genes, but not into the flesh. So you've got kitten just clink, clink.
Yeah, the little itty bitty claws. I love those. That's great.
You like carefully detach, hold up. Scritchy, 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 scritchy.
Tiniest purr.
Meanwhile, Reva's just like, "Hi, little one. What's your name?"
I am not supposed to say
Ah, okay. I just scritch.
purr.
So all you guys got was just this. Reva said that, and then Cat just kind of went meow and just scritch, 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 scritch. She's like,
Looks at you some more. Cause I guess you might be okay. My name is Orisha. But I don't get called that when there's other humans around.
and we won't.
Purr.
Yeah, Reva's just talking straight up to the cat, back and forth.
Yeah. Jillian's got one like the tiniest fur stool.
Scritches it.
And probably just leaves it there, knowing Jillian.
He's
Like-
trying not to move much.
Like, scritch, scritch, scritch. Okay, I won't
I don't
move,
think
but
Reba-
business. Business, and I will be entirely businesslike and noble warrior of God wearing a
A
Tiny
cat.
marmalade kitten.
Ah,
I'm just still hanging on to the cat and scratching and being enthralled by the sheer cuteness directly in front of me, like I'm seeing into the middle distance of the cute math.
You are probably actually trying to figure out what variables are involved in cute.
Yes.
Seems as though we're invaded by the fur patrol.
Apparently.
And Matilda's just leaning in the doorway going, they're going to be great riders one day, but for the time being, they're just wandering around. They've got new folks to pet 'em, so.
Still lost in the what is cute.
And takes the little fuzzy gray kitten from Alloy, puts kitten on top of Alloy's head, so no longer directly in Alloy's field of vision.
Eh?
Focus, dear, and not on wherever your head just went.
Sorry about that.
I've put together some bunks down the root cellar. I ain't got much
Much
space,
appreciated.
but you're gonna need something more than a bedroll on the floor tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And also puts small bottle of whiskey on table.
Thank
If
you. Yeah.
those masks do what people see the creatures without anything else to do, that's something the sheriff and his boys are going to need. It's one thing if they go out as a distraction, it's another thing if they go out as a distraction and they can't see the slightest thing of what's around them.
Only problem there is that with y'all's advantages, particularly that one, pointing at Reba, if there's something hoodoo about them, she's the one who's most likely to be able to identify and resist it. You'd be next, because whatever godly thing y'all are talking about, I would not give it to that one. Points to Alloy.
I'm better at understanding it, not at actually using that sort of thing.
Well, that's the thing. You try to understand it and probably get sucked right in.
Mm-hmm. That's why previous instances of this sort of thing led to boom.
I'm sure I don't want to know.
Oh, you don't.
And there's pie. Pie, coffee, and whiskey. Well, I'm gonna
No, you get to
feed
do
you.
both.
Why
Sounds
are you?
like it's a party.
This is recuperation.
Uh-huh.
I'm taking it you don't spend much time in society or any place with four walls, roofs, and
not as much as.
I'm more talking to your gentleman friend here.
Ah, yeah.
You at least don't look quite so surprised when a farm wife's all friendly.
It is appreciated, by the way.
Oh, that's quite
I
all
might have
right.
already said that, but I'll say it again.
Well,
You are awesome.
one thing I should probably mention, and
Hmm.
it might allow, as I've got slightly ulterior motive. That didn't used to go as far. I've caught sight of things and it's been getting closer. I'm starting to worry about the day that properly gets outside the bounds of the property.
Hmm.
Because right now, I mean, it started, you didn't see or hear anything. I mean, things moving in the swamp, things move in swamps. That's what things in swamps do. They move and are kind of creepy. At least if you don't know what you're looking at. It started moving on from there. I've seen some things that I don't reckon most others have paid much mind to, and for my own reasons, I've kept somewhat quiet about it. I think it might no longer be the time, and I have a feeling that y'all aren't going to be judgmental about how I've been paying attention. I've seen the fields effectively tilling themselves.
Yep.
I didn't want to say nothing because I just don't want to attract attention in town. Since you seem to trust these folks, I'll make matters quite plain. I ain't as close to it as your friend here is, but my grandmama, eh, similar situation as your mama, I'm taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, in my case, it was a white foreman with grabby hands, and
Mm.
child past enough to be able to be more servant girl than slave, and now here I am. But I picked up some things from folks what understood what I actually was. So yeah, I got a feeling that there was something going on. So I kept watching. I've seen the things you're talking about, the things with the masks. I've been
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure if it's the components themselves that might have had something to do with it, but it ain't no ritual I ever seen.
Yeah, that was
It's
my
it's
experience too.
but they started being able to cover more and more of the ground.
Yeah.
So it's the land and it's spreading.
Okay.
I ain't sure it's so much spreading from the swamp though. I think
Oh.
that may have just been a convenient spot to pick bones clean.
Huh.
That does make sense.
Because you got a whole bunch of things where, chunks and what have you,
Mm.
aren't going to get so much noticed, and a whole lot of critters what can,
Pick
oh,
them clean.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
what body a buzzard or a gator will leave wind up in the actual swamp water for the fish to pick cleaner.
Catfish. Well, actually, probably not catfish. Catfish won't leave bones behind if they want bones. Well, anyway.
I
Is there any other landmarks on the farm?
I ain't never actually been on the farm, but I imagine that I it might just be the epicenter of the property. I ain't sure.
Well,
It might be in the more cultivated sections. Sorry, in the less cultivated sections, woodland, what have you. Or that might be where it started, but I wouldn't be surprised if Epicenter's not only so much moved, but grown. I get the impression that whatever you do on that property is gonna handle, but I, it's not a location to get to the root of it. I don't know if it's Wyatt himself and I doubt it.
yeah, when they had me, I didn't see hide nor hair of him. And like I said, like I was saying before, when it's someone doing a thing and they're all gung ho about it, they brag.
Well,
They
he's
like, it's like when they got you, when they get like when they got you, like they had me, then there ain't shit I can do about it, and I'm not long for this world. They're gonna say something because oh, I can brag and gloat, and he wasn't
Yeah.
there.
well in this case. Back when this whole thing started, I mean, his mama wasn't doing too well. She's
Yeah.
not quite tethered in the mind, worse than she is now.
Mm. But
She'd lost several children, and it broke her in the
ooh,
end. And then she lost her husband, and that was the rest of it. Wyatt was all she had, and Wyatt was, I mean, he loves his mama, and he started looking quite cheerful for a little while. He made done something to make her feel better.
Oh boy. Maybe he made those children first.
And then I
and
stopped.
figured that he
Then I stopped seeing him so much. I have a feeling that he made something he oughtn't have, and now he's not so much making it because he wants to help his mama or because he wants to, but because he ain't gotten much choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was getting that impression myself. So I didn't want to interrupt.
Matilda.
Sorry, Matilda, I didn't want to interrupt, but I did
No,
want to ask Caleb a question. Caleb, now you said you got the feeling that there was not so much an opening out there, but there is a spot that's thin.
no, it's for Caleb. It's thin the entire way through. There's gonna be a portal opening somewhere there. You just can't tell where because the whole thing is like cheesecloth.
Whole
Well,
thing's
that
like
that's not Reba didn't that wasn't expressed clearly to Reba, so I'm going to
Yes,
continue
that's
the question, and Caleb can.
yeah.
Is there a particular spot on the property that is thinner than the rest, or can you tell?
the property is thin. It's like
Ah,
somebody
dang.
wore a spot out of a pair of denim.
Right, but it's not.
Eventually,
There's
something's going to tear
yeah,
through the fabric.
but it's going to be somewhere on there. We can't narrow it down any further. Okay, I was afraid of that. Thanks. Dang.
Well, I wouldn't recommend checking before morning, but given the amount of activity y'all kicked off down there,
Mm,
might be someplace worn thinner than others, and honestly, I'd have
mm.
reckoned it be those woods rather than that swamp. That's where actual blood got spilled.
Oh,
Just a theory. Lots of monsters spilling lots of blood, doing what they were made to do.
oh, yeah, the woods where they got me. I see what you're saying.
Now, I don't know what your skill set is. A little bit of an idea of yours, pointing at Reba. Um, if you're up for a quick walk up to my personal linen cupboard, um, there might be some bits and pieces that might be of interest to you.
By all means.
Rest you enjoy your coffee. I'll have her back to you in a minute.
Of course.
Clumps up the stairs and in it's sort of next to the bedroom. Little unconsidered kind of door, more that you reach into for whatever linens than an actual door, which is probably why she gets away with having it locked with the key at her a key worn on a chain around her neck.
Mm.
She unlocks, and you haven't seen supplies like that in a long time, or at least not in stock quantity.
Wow.
Some of it some of it's the kind of thing you get from peddlers who've been to proper cities, where they've talked to the proper voodoo ladies.
Mm-hmm. I'm going through everything, like cataloging all of it. Just, just like, wow. How did you get some of this stuff all the way out here?
We
Wow.
get the odd traveling peddler. We're a Wyatt Farm accepted. We're a pretty nice little town.
Yeah.
We do some of the best pumpkins in 3 counties. Hence the pumpkin pie.
Quite good, by the way.
Thank you. Now,
I prefer sweet potato, but that was tasty.
well, if you're still around tomorrow, we'll see what we can do. But
Oh, bless you.
but um, there was some talk there about you know, bits about the Vale and Crossroads, bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta wonder what Papa the Crossroads would be thinking about crap like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard about things about masks. well and
Mm-hmm.
good. But I've got some bits and pieces here that might make it less just a mask and more an invitation for you to be a horse if you didn't
Mm-hmm.
mind too terribly.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So y'all help yourself. I'm sure I
Yeah.
can restock proper.
I won't take too much of any one thing. Or if I have to, I'll let you know.
Well, some of it I only keep enough for a single use anyhow. So
Well,
don't let it stop you. I'd rather have to wait a while to replenish things than have things come out the.
I came out the forum. I got you. All right. So yeah, she'll go through as appropriate.
I mean, there is proper five-finger grass in there.
Yeah, and I
Not
will.
the stuff you've been having to use for the past couple of months as
Mm,
substitutes.
yep. So I mean, out of character, I'm not really sure what all I really need,
Well,
but I
just
mean, I'll
just
take a little bit of everything.
yes, it does the bits that you would need for an invocation,
Mm-hmm.
as it were, to let yourself be ridden is all there. In a couple of cases of the more very specific ingredients, there's
Mm-hmm.
only enough for the one
One.
ritual, but
All right. So yeah, I will gather all that together very carefully, very carefully, saying a few words over some of the bits as I put them in various places, realizing, oh hell, I really gotta get in.
I've got some spare clothes for y'all.
Oh, thank you.
Actually reaches into a little cubby at the very bottom and pulls out something not too different than what you're wearing, but a little bit more of the sort of thing that your mama might have worn if her whole family hadn't
Mm-hmm.
been grabbed as slaves.
Yep.
I don't get any chance to wear this kind of thing. It's got plenty of pockets.
Ah, perfect. Perfect. You are
I'll
you you
I'll
are
get
wonderful.
some bits and pieces for the others.
Thank you.
I think my husband's got something that'll fit your hunter friend.
Yeah.
And
I need to get
shuts
back
and
to sit down, and
yep.
I'm,
I'll
I'm still
I'll
not.
I'll gather those. Y'all explain probably better than it's coming from me.
Yeah.
But I'll put some spare clothes for the others on the bunks I've set up for them downstairs.
Thank
And
you. And so Reba, you just see her very hand on the rail, slowly coming down the stairs. Not quite like decrepit slow, but like ow, ow, ow,
to be
ow.
fair,
Just
that is a little. Believe me, I know.
okay.
It's a little old lady walk.
Yeah. I'll be all right come morning, I hope. um. So yeah, this is there's going to be clothes laid out on the bunks for everybody. Los noms.
Mm. We'll fill.
And I'm going to be doing some invoking.
I don't
Um,
know that Caleb has the first fucking idea what invocation is.
nope.
Intelligence roll from Jillian. Sorry, Alloy. Again, it's just because I had a friend named Jillian who acts just like. Anyway, that's an intelligence roll from Alloy. I just
Second.
I'm just guessing with Caleb because zip in the way of book learning, and that's quite a word.
18.
Yeah, you know what it means, but you don't know enough about Reba's various faiths to be particularly comforted by that idea.
Uh,
I'm gonna. It's an old friend, for lack of a better word. That's not exactly accurate, but it's as far as you know. That'll
you're
do the do.
doing you're doing a thing that's yours. You want us to like
I'll just need some time. That's all.
got it. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure
I'll
you
just need a
wanted
bit
to
of
do
time.
anything.
That's all right.
You got it. Okay, that works.
And nobody's explaining for poor Caleb.
He hadn't asked.
He's still got pie and coffee.
And whiskey.
I'm putting whiskey into the coffee.
I'm not touching the whiskey. Not yet.
Jillian just does one shot.
Yeah, we're not seeing you, by the way, Noms.
Oh, whoops. Uh,
There we go. There we go. There we go. Actually, she says that and then pauses for a second, pours a shot and sets it out for a second, for just out in front of her. Just,
Yeah, there's a certain amount of grumble as in the sort of it's not rum, but what the hell.
Unrelatedly, but amusedly, Caleb's going to reach into his pocket and set some coins out on the table. I reckon Matilda's going to need to have something to replenish all this she's given us. There may be some old pennies in there. Maybe.
Reba just kind of smirks a little.
He
Oh,
doesn't know anything about it, but I'm just saying there may be some old pennies in there, just because.
fair enough.
Seeing Caleb do that, I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna like sort of edge a little bit away so I'm out of immediate view and check the cash that I got from that wallet.
You've still got plenty, and some of it does actually seem to be, well, a fair bit of it does actually seem to be the type that you can use just about anywhere in these kinds of areas instead of your frickin' northern people
Northern.
money.
I still
At this
remember the
point,
looks.
just gonna be used as a magic focus at this point.
Well, there are worse things. They're portable. They're surprisingly difficult to damage.
I'm going to portion out a third of that. And I'm just hanging on to it, trying to determine when is an opportune moment to just put it with the pennies.
Well, just to fill Noms in because you blipped briefly. Reba's been talking about invoking. No one has mentioned exactly what she is going to be calling into her, but given it's Reba, you know full well it ain't the Lord.
yeah, Jillian's not gonna pry.
Okay, I'm just making sure that you knew this.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's painfully obvious that Caleb does not know what that word means.
But he's not asking, so I'm not telling.
So, just so that we know where everybody is, do you have your basic plan of attack for tomorrow, or are you going to decide that over breakfast come morning? Now that you've got
So,
as much of the information as possible.
so my understanding is I'll do my little thing first thing. We'll see. And then we're heading toward the shed to get those masks or faces or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing what can be done with them and going from there. And then heading, I guess, to the woods where they grabbed me.
Yeah. Actually, your little thing would probably need to wait to be done when until you found the thin spot because your whole thing
Point.
is, hey, dude, people are fucking with the crossroads here. You might want to shut this shit down.
Point. Good point. Yeah.
Come,
No,
come, come through me and make them fucking stop.
good point.
We need to figure where the sheriff will be best suited.
Well,
Is-
opposite the woods.
Well-
Yeah, fair enough then.
Probably if wants to distract Wyatt, etc., from having any kind of potential for raising fuss, he'll probably be best suited knocking on the front door and demanding another search of the property.
Which is
What Reba
where
about
I was
to say.
going, basically. Yeah, opposite the woods would be the house, and therefore, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
the house is actually more sort of on the side of the property rather
Oh, my bad.
than necessarily the back. I mean, some of it spreads to the back, but you are attacked further to the side of the property.
That's right. Yeah, I remember now. I remember the view of the map, and yeah, I've forgotten that. For some reason, I was thinking we were on the backside. My bad.
I know you're sort of next door
Mhm.
and when you came out the swamp because their bit of farmland is actually quite big and some of the more scrub land which is where apparently she lets they let the blackberry creepers stay just there so they can have the blackberries without it encroaching on the rest of their
Mhm.
field, but they apparently own that bit so you could
Okay.
sort of get out, avoid most of the blackberry nonsense because they leave enough trail to pick and
Right.
hobble through field to their back door. So the swamp was closer to the back, but you had been skirting around the side to
Gotcha.
approach from the rear, and that's where you got jumped. Whereas
Mhm.
Jillian and Caleb were on the other side of the property
Gotcha.
in the more cultivated field area.
Gotcha. That makes total sense. Thank you so much. So, thinking about it, given where I was in, Jillian, what do you think? Did sheriff just go up and knock on the door?
That'll certainly get his attention if he's
You know,
there. And
I mean, bang, bang, bang. We're here to search.
yeah, he'll have to come out then, in that case.
Knowing
That'll give
knowing
us
how
openings to go.
And knowing how intelligent the sheriff is, he's probably going to be, let's make sure they're not on your property and take his search party with Wyatt everywhere but where you guys are going to be.
So we
And
give the sheriff.
well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Eloy. I was just going to say real quick, if we have a definite spot we're going to the shed, and we're going to that spot in the woods where I was attacked. We can tell the sheriff this is exactly where we're going to be, as opposed to just wandering around like.
Yeah, we let him know where we're going. That's what I was gonna say. We give him the rundown where we're going, and basically have
Mhm.
him cart whoever's there in the house just around
Right.
everywhere
that'll
we're
do.
going. So start with
Yeah.
the shed and
Yep.
rigmarole.
So what? Just out of curiosity, and so I know ahead of time, what was the shed? What like? How did you guys even get into it?
I'm pulling out the tools. I can get into places. It's just like
Should've-
like Wolverineing the damn things.
Yeah. And just looking so proud, and Reba's just like, I should have guessed. I should have guessed.
That's also how I got in the basement.
Most basement locks are, well, I guess it
He
depends
had
on how
one
often you go in there.
crazy lock on that thing.
Well, storm cellar padlock.
Yeah, and
So-
usually those are old and rusted, unless they go in there a lot. That's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, usually those are
Old and rusted are actually really tough to pick. 'Cause
right. That's why Reba's like, wow, wait, usually those type of locks are old and rusty and pain in the ass to get to move, and you got it open, no problem.
Yeah, was really wishing we had you down there because also another there was a cat. old cat that was all kinds of grumpy.
Oh, you found me in feline form.
Possibly.
Well, you should have just called it Reba. Might have actually moved.
If you'll recall, what actually happened was Jillian managed to animal handling it onto somewhere else.
What was it, like a 19-year-old or something?
Something good.
Crazy like that?
Of all people who
Well,
managed
nobody told Reba that.
Well,
so.
that's that. I'm just reminding them because I know what memories get like.
Right.
of all people who managed to actually do the conversationing with the cat, turns out it was Jillian.
Really?
Something
I
about
do come from a farm.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Good on you.
And she
Works
still
for
has
me,
the
I
cat.
have the doggy.
She still has the kitten, just who's now fallen asleep.
I mean,
Oh yeah, mine. I settled back in so that way mine could.
Boink, boom.
do I still have a cat on my head through all this?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you've been. And it's sort of. Luckily, you got enough hair. It's sort of
You occasionally feel tiny claws just
in the scalp.
well, not digging in, just sort of kind of like velcroing on.
Yeah, I was about to say gripping. Yeah, nice.
Going to walk over to Riva, carefully detach cat, little bit of scritches, plunk.
Okay.
I haven't gotten in the way of me eating pie, so they hadn't been moved.
Okay.
So okay, you have your plan of action.
Yep.
Caleb is like devoured half the pie on his own.
I'll be taking some of that before you eat all of it. Yoink.
I already had a slice, so I'm
All right.
okay.
Jillian just had a small piece.
I'll slide the rest of whatever's left back over towards them.
Walking
You know
home
what?
vacuum cleaner.
Give me another slice of that. I could use it.
Yes, those of you who've lost the most blood are probably a little more hungry than you'd care to admit.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, on second thought, slide that over here.
And yes, at this point, particularly for Reba and Jillian, the siren call of bed.
Yeah.
For Jillian, that was far too reminiscent of certain incidents that led to her leaving home.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she hobbles off.
Yeah, downstairs in the root cellar, she's actually been set up. Yeah, they're proper bunks. Mattresses are softer than you expect, so they're not the sort of straw tick mattresses that you'd have thought. They're thin, but they're not prickly the way straw mattresses can get. Homey little patchwork quilts and actual pillows.
Reba's like, she carried the cats down with her and just lays down, puts the cats like on her in some fashion, out as soon as she just gets laid out, out.
I'm going to check on Muffin first.
Muffin is still outside. Woo.
Hey, Muffin.
Muffin is actually a little bit shinier. Looks like someone has buffed him.
You're sparkly. That is awesome. Okay.
Sparkly.
Okay. If anyone, not the sheriff, the deputies, lady in the house, and us come around the property, make a lot of noise. Otherwise, settle in. We're gonna be here for the night.
And does the legs retract box.
I love that.
Kind of like the cat loaf, but just head.
Yeah, the muffin box. I love that. That is just great.
The Caleb's horse is looking at you like you're an idiot.
Add a Muffin. What?
Start sort of nibbling at your hair.
Okay, fine.
You've bit of horse drool in your hair now.
Just very careful, sort of pat, and walking away.
So yes, okay. You have your Muffin early warning system. Although that probably does mean that Muffin is going to have to less box, more patrol grounds.
Gonna be boxed for a little while.
Yeah. Yes. Jillian's sleep is slightly restless. That was, again, that plus the letter that she received the previous day
Yeah,
is
she's not in a great mood.
no, and the only reason she stays asleep through there for any length of time is because of the amount of blood she lost. But no, the dreams are not overly pleasant, but you do get your 8 hours. So does everybody else, some more peacefully than others.
Was you mean literal dreams of anything in particular?
Not not anything prophetic. Just the standard subconscious sorting out how much of the past that called back, and most of it was not particularly pleasant.
Okay.
I mean, let's face it. One minute you're getting letter from husband, next minute you're getting shot nearly to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a little bit too symmetrical for the subconscious's comfort.
Yeah, that's good.
So
That's fair.
it's basically reruns. Alloy, as per usual, is visions of numbers.
I just picture like the Matrix code
I
fall
can
effect.
see through time.
That's what I always picture.
And the rest of you are just, I'm getting some goddamn sleep. Fuck it. Morning happens, as does the smell of fresh baked biscuits and bacon.
I'm still mumbling the last few numbers of an equation and solving for
Mhm.
x in my sleep.
Opening eyes, not moving, taking stock of where kittens are.
Kittens are elsewhere.
Oh, good, I can get up.
Is Jillian back to full health?
Everybody is.
Okay.
Jillian slowly rolls out.
Yeah, full health, spell slots back, etc.
Oh, that's gonna hurt for a little while. Oh. Okay, that didn't hurt as much as I thought it would.
All hail the power of stretching.
Sort of like, after extreme physical, it's like you're. Is it gonna hurt? Is it gonna? No. It doesn't. Oh, good. Okay. It's one of those. That's what she's going through right now before
Yeah.
she actually gets up out of bed.
I'm gonna go check on Muffin.
Muffin actually it comes round the house and is covered in kittens.
Awesome.
Whoop.
Oh boy. You made
Head
friends, Muffin.
head turns 180 degrees to kind of look at these kittens. Whoop!
You made friends.
Head twists back to look at Alloy. Whoop!
That's good.
Whoop.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder how we're gonna run our usual tests with a bunch of kittens on. Okay, Muffin. Let's get a little closer to ground level so I can hold on to them while you do your thing.
Muffin box. Kittens are looking at you very reproachfully.
You can have him right back as soon as we're done checking.
Oh, they sort of huddle. They're not moving.
Oh boy. I'm gonna need Reba for this explanation. Okay, Muffin. you can be walking around again. Just be careful and stay close by. I'm gonna go get Reba.
Chunk.
Reba, I need a little help.
Why?
You've been pulled away from the smell of bacon, fresh biscuits, and coffee for
you-
this.
No, but food, coffee. What?
I need a few seconds. All the kittens are on Muffin.
Oh dear. Oh child. Oh child. Oh, okay. Okay.
And I don't know how to convince cats to.
Oh. Okay. 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 And I'll walk out.
Did she just
Oh
say she needs a
dear.
cat herder?
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Okay, Muffin, bring them all over here.
Kittens. 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 Um. Muffin is this thing. It's got to do spins and bouncing. It's a thing they do in the morning. Can y'all? I'm sorry, but can y'all come down? You can curl up with me. I'll give you some bacon.
All of a sudden, Reba is covered in cats.
Yeah, as soon as I get the word, I don't even get the whole word bacon out. It's like bake, poof. Oh, that worked.
Thank you.
I just got like armloads of kitten. I'm walking back inside. I'm gonna need a slice of bacon cut up. I promised them. It's the only way I could get them off a muffin.
Yeah, Matilda's just chopping up some of the bacon. I didn't cook this one quite so much, so easier to cut that way.
Bless you.
Uh, Also, they've got points. There are chicken livers, and
Oh.
boom, and all of a sudden the cats are out of
Whoa.
your arms.
Ow. I'm glad you're kittens. If you were any bigger, that would have got me really good.
Just this the horde
Yeah, they all leapt off of me at once.
Boing.
from it's like that video, Where's the Babies? Except a little bit bigger.
Yeah. I tried to take a step back because of the amount of force. It was like, whoa, okay, that many kittens at once. That's a lot of force. Wow. Or first.
So I'll
Okay.
come up,
Oh god. All right. Sorry about that. I think a little bit
address
aloe rubbed off on me there.
address Matilda. Ma'am, you've put a lot of effort in keeping this up. Is there anything I can do for you?
I think we're more or less covered. What you can do at least start with is sit down and help yourselves to some breakfast, and you're gonna be helping clear out some nasty right next door. So I reckon you're doing plenty. There's fresh biscuits. Sit.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
I'm already sitting. I'm already sitting. I know that look.
You're only going to have to convince him to sit down to eat so often.
Sure. But she still sit.
Muffin, sproing.
Boing, 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 boing. That thing is not gonna wreck my yard.
Shouldn't.
Hope not.
And spin.
Spin.
Thing
And then
ain't
just running
natural.
Muffin through the paces, and it's getting it's
Yeah.
pretty ridiculous out there.
Yeah, nobody in here's paying attention. They've got fresh baked biscuits, fresh churned butter, blackberry jam, bacon, scrambled eggs,
Coffee the color of me.
fried
That's how I have it.
fried potatoes. Hearty farm people breakfast. Because lunch is kind of difficult to come by most of the time.
Hmm.
Finally got Muffin run through paces, and here I am in looking a little askew from all the bouncing.
Y'all are gonna sit down and have some breakfast.
Yes.
And if you're staying and everything manages to work out all right today, roasting some chickens for dinner. I may have put together one or two extra because I figured I might have company.
It's very kind of you.
Well, now we have to come back.
Well, we're gonna have to come back to give a report
Hmm.
anyway.
We can't
So
die. She's gonna cook for us.
Reports, good or bad, is our best ad over a decent meal. Yeah.
Hmm.
And waves a little at Reba and holds up a bushel of sweet potatoes.
mm. Mm. Mwah.
And the knock on the door. That will be the sheriff.
Good.
Ah, yes.
Remember, you was gonna let him know y'all had a plan. Oh, this
Oh yeah.
looking at no, looking at Caleb, who looked like that. Oh yeah, right.
Oh.
He goes out and ushers the sheriff back in, who's taking off his hat. Y'all sit down with these fine people and have some breakfast. I made lots of biscuits. I do not say no to this woman's biscuits. Sits down.
I don't blame you.
So, do y'all have a plan? And if so, how am I getting involved in it?
Jillian, you wanna give him the rundown?
Well, we're thinking when we were found his reagents in the shed. Eloy noticed some of them looked more like masks than heads for the effigies. She reasoned that Reba might be able to put on that, or Reba volunteered to try on that mask. She would know most first of all if there was anything wrong with it. She might be the best defended against it. So that might help us with finding the monsters before they can ambush us. If they gather up in such a number that they can attack us at all. If we're lucky, between the four of us, that won't happen. But before we can do that, and then before we can go out and looking into the woods for what might be the source of all this trouble, we were hoping you could go to the farmhouse, have a talk with Wyatt Norrington, and insist on searching the place again. If he's by your side, then he's out of our hair, and you know where we are. We'll be at the shed and then out into the woods, and you can lead him on elsewhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
he.
the that's most of it. Basically, the idea was, we're go out search, to make sure we're not lurking about, as it were.
Well, I was gonna say, well, it'd be terrible if y'all were holding such a grudge against this fine, upstanding member of the community that you would be wrecking his fields and his livestock.
Exactly.
Remember, I do play cards.
That's fair. That's fair. I just want to make sure all the
I
details were
do
out.
very well, I'd have to say.
Made
Whatever
quite
you deem best.
made quite the living for myself on various riverboats, but
Oh,
decided I wanted something a bit calmer, and then y'all came along.
Uh, okay, I kind of want to play you if we actually
no,
finish.
you don't.
That's without
One thing
dying.
at a time, Eloy.
Hey, just a hope for later.
Would it be too much on the nose to leave a scrap of one of our clothes somewhere for you to find?
Yes, it's better if we don't find anything, because then we've got more of an excuse to turn over all the nooks and crannies until we realize we don't have any evidence. If we find something, we wind up getting the dog sniffing for you, and that's the last thing we want.
Mm.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And also, it means we can stall a little while and, while making the appropriate noises about wasting police time. It looks what?
I just wonder what that laugh was for.
Oh, just that that you're going to be leading him on, and then some, and it is going to be glorious.
Ah, okay. I, I hadn't heard
Uh,
you laugh like that. Usually, I think the last time I heard you laugh like that, you were thinking about exploding something.
All right, Sheriff. So we give you a head start onto the farm. You make sure he's away from the shed at first.
one thing. She's got to promise she ain't gonna explode nothing.
Nah, that's not part of the plan.
I swear on everything, nothing goes boom unless it absolutely 100% is trying to end us.
Not as comforting as I reckon you meant it to be.
Sorry. Nothing important goes boom. Is that no? That's not. That's worse. Nothing goes boom. Absolutely nothing goes boom.
Okay.
I saw
And if
that.
you try for that,
I saw that contraption you called a gun. Zap is not the same thing as boom.
yeah, that's fair.
Looks at Jillian and Reba. How do y'all travel with this?
Jillian
She
just
did great at
shrugs.
the last town. Well, actually, I think that was more Muffin.
Yeah.
Looks toward the
Jillian
door.
doesn't bat an eye.
I am going to sit and I am going to enjoy this fine breakfast that what has been set in front of me. And then I am going to go and collect my deputies who are settling for biscuits and bacon outside because this kitchen's starting to get a mite cramped. And then we will make a start on y'all's plan, and boy, I hope it works. Breakfast continues, and eventually it gets up, finishes the last of his coffee. Give us 10 minutes. We gotta get to the door and all. Best of luck to you.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And out he goes. I'm
I'm gonna
assuming.
make sure all my stuff is set up before we are, so that I'm 100% ready to go when it's time to go.
Okay, and I assume everybody is making sure that their bits and pieces are appropriately sorted out. Caleb probably stuffing as much breakfast as he can into his face before he goes anywhere. Well, I can't blame him. He's mostly out in the wilderness, so when he's got the opportunity for a good feed, he's gonna take it. And we've lost noms again. And well, from Discord anyway, but I think Discord's just being funny in general.
Yeah.
And given
Based
that,
on the
sorry,
based on the stats, I like to think that he can cook just fine if he's over a open fire because that's when he has to. But he's still not turning down somebody else cooking for him in an actual kitchen.
well, yeah, that's kind of what I meant, because if you're eating what you've hunted, basically, because you're not going to be carting around canned goods, and that'd be the only thing that would keep. So yeah, it's great if you've got things that you've hunted yourself and whatever wild bits and pieces you can dig up, but it's not. You don't get biscuits. You don't get pancakes. We don't get bacon.
All hail bacon.
And anyway, given that we're
Nope.
there's Noms, it actually is probably well timed because Noms might want to restart Discord properly because it's been giving you some shit today.
Oh no, it's on my computer side, but it's two different computer things.
Okay, I'm going to pretend I understood that.
Right?
I think there's too much use of the word things in that sentence, but never mind. Anyway, point being that we're getting to a point where y'all are going to be doing extensive things, and we're almost at that time. So we will take our break now, and when we come back in about 5 minutes, you will go and infiltrate the Norrington farm again. Let's hope it works out better than the last time. And we're back, and they have a plan. And they're polishing off breakfast. And about ready to head out, as far as I can tell. By the time you get out, the kittens have demolished their chicken innards and are back to sitting on top of Muffin.
That was fast.
They're kittens. That's what they do.
Boop. Boop.
Kittens, we gotta go.
But
We're this is we're doing important stuff.
But
so we
warm.
Muffin is warm. Says that to Alloy.
Huh.
Yeah, that's why.
Warm and fun. It moves.
Okay. Warm, fun, and moves, apparently.
Boop.
Muffin, you are apparently awesome according to kittens.
Boop.
You're warm, fun, and move.
Oop. 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 Oop.
I'm not sure what Muffin's going to do with that information, but Muffin's been given that information.
Oop. Oop.
Like, can I make any sense of what
No.
whether it's distress or just
Well, that's outright confusion, and yeah, okay, but I'm covered in furry things, and they're not my alloy.
And they're not Spot. If nothing else.
Spot is tolerated because friends with alloy.
Exactly. Well, food's not going to be a deterrent or a attractant because they just ate. Wait a minute. And Reva reaches in, pulls out a dried bit of catnip,
oh no.
and just sort of
I would
grinds
I would like you to make a dex saving throw.
Oh no! I love it. I love where your head is. Okay, hold on. Let me get back to core. Dex saving throw. 19. Sorry if you can hear Dusky in the background. Rather appropriate soundtrack, I suppose.
Most of them, you manage to dodge most of them. One lands directly on your face.
Oh!
Yeah, that's 3 points of piercing damage because all of a sudden, Kitten is scrabbling, trying not to fall.
Oh no! Hang on, let me. I'm down to. Okay.
And I mean, it's only little bits of scrabble before you get your hands under, but
right,
and then poing,
plop and plop with the catnip. Ow. Okay. Shall we?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then as Reba gets up on the horse, she just leans down. Thank you for putting up with them, with all of this.
You're lucky I like you.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I assume you're headed back in the approximate direction of where, at least starting where Reba first got attacked. Because it's probably your easiest way in. It's where you told the sheriff about anyway.
Yep.
Okay, one last question before we go completely in there. to go to the shed.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go out, then come back and get Muffin, or am I bringing Muffin along?
Wait, I thought you were writing Muffin there. You mean bring
No,
Muffin
no, no,
in?
I'm right. No, once we get before we get to the place, I'm asking so that because while we're riding, essentially, I'm asking this
Oh,
because I'm
so
asking.
you
Do we
you're
bring
asking
Muffin
whether or not
along
to bring.
into the woods
Oh,
on the property? Because while
Oh.
yes, getting to the shed would be easy for us.
not so
Muffin
much
is
for Muffin.
loud.
Yeah. Um. As a
Because
precaution, and Muffin's not exactly. No offense, Aloy. No offense, Muffin, but Muffin's not exactly alive as these things know it.
Yep.
And even if Muffin were, Muffin would be same as a horse or mule, so they still wouldn't react either way. So let's bring Muffin in as far as the spot where they got me, and then continue from there to the shed. How far into the property was that spot? Was it like I don't remember off the top of my head. It was
It
a
was
good
you were skirting the edges, so not.
yeah. So it was like a good 10, 20 feet.
Yeah, in from Matilda's farmhouse, about 10-20 feet, sure, but more than that into the Norrington property from the road, if you see what I mean.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because my whole thing was if we go to the shed, we want to make less noise, but once we go towards where Reba was attacked, then we can bring Muffin proper because that's not.
And that's why Reba's saying because you're going in, you're
At where I was
entering the
attacked.
property at the spot where they were attacked. You could leave Muffin there as kind of a marker while you do the sneaking. And
Exactly.
Okay, that I understand.
and depending on where you are in relation to Muffin when / if you get attacked, you can make noise and Muffin can come back you up.
Exactly. That's where I was
Thank
going
you.
to suggest. So yeah, so Aloy, the idea was bring Muffin to the spot where I was attacked. We continue from there to the shed without Muffin, so we can be quiet. Then then we come back to where Muffin is. If something happens in between here and there, yell.
Got it.
I guess.
Perfect. That
Whatever.
works. That's
Summon the Muffin. Call down the Muffin.
perfect. Yeah,
Call
that
down
Muffin,
the
you're gonna
wrath of Muffin.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
that
Wrath of
Muffin, you
Muffin.
get to do an awesome.
Tombstone Blues Inc. 2, The Wrath of Muffin.
Okay, yeah, you ride through the well-tended fields, trying to be as careful as possible so that you don't trample all over Matilda's crop for the next little while, and you come to the spot where what field there is becomes woodland on the Norrington property, and it's not very far in from there where you were attacked. So this is as good a spot as any. What are you going to do with your horses?
I'm leaving mine on the edge of the property, not actually on the property. I'm going to walk in on foot.
Yeah.
That sounds
Get
like
off a Muffin and walk in side by side, basically.
The Muffin is still following because
Mm.
that feeling of being watched hits you pretty much straight away.
They know we're here.
Yep.
Or at least they know
on.
someone is here.
Let's get into position and then start the other half of the.
And Muffin just trundling along after Alloy. Beep.
So when we arrive at where Reba was attacked.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to spot, and Alloy is now seeing the now dried but still at least the bits on the log evident blood spatter. There was a lot of blood spatter.
Okay. Muffin.
Boop.
You're gonna stay here and be our marker.
Boop.
And if I need you, I'll call for you. Got it?
Boop boop. Loaf. Chunk.
Okay,
And the
so
head
I
just
feel it.
doing the 360 boop boop.
I've already got the. I'm assuming you all are feeling that too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So this may not do a damn bit of good at this point, but we're gonna try to be sneaky anyway. So she mumbles a few words in a couple of different languages, and opens her palm, and there's a small bit of ash in her hand that just sort of whiffs away on the wind, and it's casting Pass Without Trace.
Okay. Stealth rolls from all of y'all. And in one's head we add +10.
Whoa! Oh, wow!
Mostly saving Reba at this point.
She's still not 100%.
Alloy.
Alloy got a
Oh no,
16.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I really need to get my prescription checked.
That's okay. I missed it too until you said something.
So yeah, that's. I mean, Caleb, you can see that he is made of hunter, basically, and Jillian's not that much. Yeah, Jillian's not that far off herself. Interesting for a former drover, but there you go. Um, the rest of you are the Reba and Alloy are a little less
I just got an
quiet.
eyeful of exactly how much of me got left behind. So I'm a little. Ooh.
And
Ooh.
Alloy is. I left her to that. No. I need to make Muffin quieter. I need to make Muffin quieter. I don't know how, but I need to make Muffin quieter. So yeah, there's sneak, 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 sneak to the shed. New lock. Looks sturdier.
Mm.
Jillian percepts or the surroundings, not the walk.
Um,
And you feel things watching, but if they're there, they're keeping as hidden as they can in whatever numbers there are. So mostly you're just sensing. The sense though isn't, given that's not a bad roll. The sense at the moment isn't we are coming to eat you. The sense is more, what are they doing? Are they going to, are they doing good? Are they doing, what are they doing? Little kid watch think.
I'm wanting to do something a little different. Since I figured out that I could, in fact, see their tracks, at least a little ways. Since I'm standing around here, I'd like to try and see if there's been any tracks that I can detect here at the door to see what direction they may have gone from or come from.
Survival
Gone
check,
to or
please.
something. And do these count for Reckoner enough that my bonus applies?
No.
What?
The only issue is that you're doing this at the shed where they are all made. So they have been coming out in sufficient numbers to confuse things.
Well, but it would be more if it's been recent and that sort of thing.
Mm, I mean, there's definitely recent tracks in the area, but you can't tell whether that's new made things or patrolling the grounds because there is just too many tracks
Okay.
and of various sizes. Plus the fact that because they're not footprints as you know them, it's difficult to tell what's ground scuff and what's track.
Okay. But still, I got the fact that there's been a fair amount of traffic is as much what I was hoping to get. Maybe not
You
as
can't you
much.
can't you can't really tell how much of it is recent. But given that when they're made, they come. It's pretty obvious that once they're made, they walk out under their own power.
Okay.
Um, seeing the new lock, Reba just sort of goes, "Alloy."
Out
Jillian's
come
been
the
waiting for
tools.
Alloy.
Thieves' tools.
Yep.
This is giving you some serious shit.
Hmm. Upgraded. Gonna carefully extract my tools and re-examine this lock.
I don't suppose you got any acid in there.
Probably not, because I mean, when you repair things, you don't use acid. That would melt bits of muffin. He's suggesting that you might want to melt bits of muffin.
No. And I'm going to attempt to examine the lock to see if there's anything I can exploit on it.
Investigation.
Damn.
What the hell?
Unfortunately, most of it's inside, so it's kind of tricky to see, but you can see what you've been doing wrong. You were picking it like you did the one like you did the one before. This is a different make of lock. You're going to have to do a different approach. Different tool. Smaller tool.
Thieves' tools go away. Out come
Well,
Tinker's tools.
well, no, it's still thieves' tools. It's
Oh, yeah.
just
Ah,
you have lock. There's a lot of different type of lockpick, and you only
Uh-huh.
use like one or two at a time. And what you need is a narrower one of A and a slightly flatter one of B to
okay.
fit into the bits that is going to help you. So you
That makes sense.
recognize what tools you need. Proceed.
Okay. Switching tools over, and just same roll.
Yep. Thieves' tools again.
That's
The exact same thing. What the frig is it with this RNG?
oh well.
At least he didn't break it.
Probably not quite the right tools. Maybe you need
Eh.
some. Maybe you need something with a slightly different bevel to the end of it. It's basically switching tools until you find the one that works.
Should I maybe stop looking?
That it, going tools again. Like switch.
I'm just gonna turn around.
Okay, thieves' tools.
Jillian's already keeping watch instead.
Thieves' tools again.
Caleb says under his breath, "I got a Bowie knife."
And I'm just giving him a look like, are you high?
At least you didn't roll another 3 this time. I mean, in this case, it's some fiddling, and you're pretty sure you've bent one of your tools, but eventually the lock does pop. But you're gonna have to get your thieves' tool fixed. It was also quite loud, so it was very much clunk.
I'm just looking at my tool and I'm just looking at it in a frumpy manner, putting it away, making my way in, pulling a greenback and trying to as swiftly as possible put haste into it. once I'm inside the shed.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'll step right in and I'll look around because I haven't been in here.
Inside the shed is tools lining the walls that don't have windows, but they're farm tools. The occasional hoe, a couple of saws and axes for clearing whatever brush. The workbenches are gone. It looks like a tool shed.
So, where are the masks?
Jillian turns to look over Reva's shoulder.
Looks like a shed, guys.
Looks like he cleared out the evidence once he saw that someone had been rooting about.
Yeah, this ain't even the same place anymore.
And I'm handing green back with haste in it to Reba.
What's this for?
The magic stuff that I promised
Oh,
I'd keep
right.
doing. Just
Okay.
hang on to that.
All right. I'll put it in a pocket I can access readily. Well, that's a bust.
Nothing to be done with it. Better get
So-
moving.
Do we break
Continue
into
on
the
with the plan?
basement?
Mm.
Well, we ain't got that kind of time, and he doesn't know where. The sheriff only knows we're going to be here and in the woods. I say we go to the woods.
Hmm. You already made a bit of noise in that walk. You best get moving.
And thankfully, we haven't taken terribly long, so that little bit of help, we should be able to sneak back okay.
Well, once you come out of the shed, you are confronted by a fairly significant number of those little children puppets.
Oh.
Hi.
Jillian starts to reach down and then
Stop.
stops.
Up. We're here to end this.
The one that Jillian spoke to, who is at the front, lifts the bony, puppety hands and looks at them, and then looks at Reba.
Reba, it's wondering if it. I think it's wondering if you mean it too. You said end this.
Jillian purses her lips.
We're trying to stop the bad ones.
That's a better way to put it.
There's the sort of a tilt of multiple little mask faces. And the general impression is, how do you specify?
Like the one that hurt.
The ones.
The
The
one
ones
in the
that-
spectacles.
And the big ones. The monsters. The ones that took out the three that came and helped me. I heard them. And I heard what happened. And I don't want that to happen to anybody else.
And not quite audible, but still somehow heard. Do we have to die?
Jillian's just a tiny bit tense.
I'm going to ask somebody who's a lot higher than me. And things are going to be done. I don't know. I will not lie to you. I do not know. I'm hoping not. My intent is not. You all are not bad, for lack of a better word. But the ones that hurt me and the one that left me out there, mm-hmm.
Caleb gets down on one knee in front of him, holds his hand out, and see if anyone will take his hand.
There's
Gets
there's
down
there's a there's a
roughly.
there's a pause, and the little one at the front, the one that if Jillian felt like telling you would be the one that I saw, very very gently touches fingertips to Caleb's.
Reba's actually just jaw dropped, just like what is this fool doing?
I ain't here to hurt you. That's what I'm here for. I'm looking for the other ones that tore up my friends, hurt the other people. Y'all stay clear.
There's a general murmuring of the best you can get is thank you, but I don't think staying clear is going to help very much in this circumstance, but the thought was there. I go back to looking at Reba, who I would like to make me a persuasion check right now.
Not my strong suit. Holy damn it, Christmas!
They look sad. They look resigned. But they back off and melt into the trees and are gone.
Reba now lets the breath that she was holding go. Can we go now?
Mm-hmm.
Jillian gives Reva a sidelong look and then starts walking.
Well, I mean, I didn't
Caleb
lie.
stands back up and starts walking
They're
to the
not.
horses.
They're not bad. They just are, but they shouldn't be. But it's not their fault. So
Once we've dealt with the Undertaker and closed off the power coming into the farm, we'll see how things have
settled out.
settled. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's try to be. Yes, I know. We've still got that feeling, but let's try to sneak back.
Yeah,
Quietly.
I mean, you still got Pass Without Trace on. You haven't been there for that long, so stealth again, please, all y'all.
Thank God for Pass Without Trace.
Yeah,
Complete lip of the rolls.
yeah, this is the point at which Jillian is stomping like the avenging word of God she is. Alloy is kind of meebling, frankly, because
About the tools, probably.
there's
as well as the kids. Right?
grumbling about the tools, meebling about the kids, and in general hoping that nothing is trashing Muffin.
Right.
I mean, in all fairness, at this point, it's like Jillian seems to nearly hope she's going to get seen because she just wants a fucking fight at this point.
Reba glances over at Caleb, just like, hell, white boy here didn't need the spell. All right.
So on the way back to the horses, I'd like to use Detect Portal again.
Or on the way back to Muffin, you mean?
Well, yeah, because the horses are beyond Muffin on the other property, but so it's still in the same direction. Let's not split hairs. I knew what he meant.
Okay, sorry.
So yeah, the sensation is still not that there is an actual portal, but in a place where where incipient portals might be. Yeah, the forest is probably if a portal is going to open, that is probably a likely enough place.
Okay. Them would seem the best place to check.
Well, we don't have masks, but it appears that at least the children have given us clearance, for lack of a better way to put it.
Oh.
Not sure what to call it with them.
A wide berth.
Yeah. Thank you. I guess now I do my thing. So, if you all can keep a lookout,
Okay, so what I'm gonna do in this case, because this is outside of the usual skill set for this kind of
mm-hmm,
thing, so I'm going to call this a 10-minute ritual.
mm-hmm,
No getting around it with the usual I can expend things. This is you have to be there for the next 10 minutes doing ritual,
yep,
and the only reason that you would be in any initiative order is next stage of ritual, next stage of ritual, next stage of ritual, hoping it doesn't get interrupted partway
mm-hmm,
through. I will figure out what any potential interruption of ritual means as we go, frankly,
okay,
because this is uncharted territory.
right.
In that case, I'm gonna draw my rifle and stand watch.
Fair enough.
Similar.
So,
Aloy, while I'm thinking about it, can you put Muffin on alert as well?
Muffin, help us keep watch. Yeah.
boop 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 boop. I mean, Muffin is technically still already doing the 360 boop boop.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ally didn't. I mean, Reba doesn't really know what on watch means as far as Muffin is concerned. So,
Okay, so Reba sets up a ritual. For Jillian and Caleb, this is probably incredibly weird, and Alloy is trying to figure out the math.
yeah, it's a weird combination of a number of things.
You don't know where the hell she got some of that stuff.
I'm assuming no one's asking, but if you, I mean, it's up to you guys if you want to ask. Reba's not going to say anything unless somebody asks. So,
Fair.
because she's a little busy.
Yeah, and eventually, Reba's got things set up to her liking, and it's largely quiet chanting for the next little while. So,
Jillian, keeps watch.
yep, a minute passes. There's still that feeling of being watched, but it's not malevolent. 2 minutes pass. Still the watched feeling. It's a little alarmed, but not. 3 minutes. The sense of being watched is a bit more urgent now, in that sort of. It's like something is trying to wave arms at you, but isn't because can't be seen. 4 minutes in. There's a sound that isn't, and it's a. And things begin to come out of the trees. And you can see them because they are coming sort of 4 or 5 at a time. There are a grand total of 10 of them. And while Reba's not paying any attention, they are exactly what came for her. And Alloy may have a very, very brief idea. so she knows approximately what she's looking at. You guys see these monstrosities of bone and vine and patches of fur and leather and tufts of Queen Anne's lace in places, and they are all apparently quite keen. Most of them are looking at Reba.
Those are them.
How big are they?
Fairly significantly sized. We're talking, if we're looking at quadrupeds, mid-sized mule.
Okie doke. That's good to know.
They classes, what I'm using for them at the moment, classes as large. So first, let's park y'all on this
They look
here.
a lot bigger when they're ripping you to shreds.
Yes, they do. Okay, so Reba is probably right about there. We'll pull back a little bit so I've got more space. Muffin, actually probably a little further back because Muffin is good to have on a charging basis. They're okay for Jillian?
Yeah.
Okay. Caleb probably wants some cover, so we'll put him by this tree here. Or is there someplace else you'd like to be?
I can fire and cast spells from behind said cover, yes.
Okay, and Alloy is, oops, not what I meant to do. And Alloy is probably near-ish to Muffin under her own bit of cover, so say about there. That work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's got things more or less covered. And on that note, I would like you all to roll initiative.
Wow. Guess we know who's going first.
Hot damn.
Okay, so that's
8. Which makes sense because I'm not actually doing anything other than ritual. So
well, that entirely depends on how much you get interrupted, really,
point.
at the end of the day. And now, of
Point.
course, I do not have a pen. Why do I not? I had a pen. What the fuck? Right. Plan B. So, Jesus Christ.
Guess I should ask, is my +5 bonus to initiative added into this already?
Should be, yes. Yeah, because most people don't have an 8 initiative, an 8 initiative modifier, so yes. Okay, given the natural 20, top of the round, alloy. Actually, I should put my monsters in, all things considered. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna use some particularly creepy shit here. Not overly visible, but we'll do what we can. So, yeah, that's one. Yeah, because they're coming in from the trees here. 2, 3,
You're right, those things are creepy.
4. Oop, not where I meant E for you to be. 5. I picked those up for my D&D because 6, 7. Because they look like exactly the kinds of things that 7's there. 8. 9. There we go.
Man, the
And
zoom bar on this thing is really finicky.
yes, yes, it is.
I kept thinking I was trying to move the bar itself. I'm like, no, just zoom in. No.
Yeah. Okay. So that's.
Wow.
Oh, did you roll initiative for Muffin?
Thanks for the reminder, GM. I don't know how to do that. It's just a dex roll, right?
Yep. I mean, unless Muffin has Dex modifiers.
He does. Not a particularly big one. Just,
Let me have a look.
yeah, he's got a +2 modifier.
Oh, so that's a 16.
Well, no, that was a full-on ability check, so that is a 14.
Okay. Okay. Alloy.
There's one a little too close to Reba right there.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like the look of that thing being that close to Reba. I don't want a recurrence of the previous happen. And so, click, click, boom.
Take your shot.
Just that is a natural 1.
That goes. That comes unutterably close to hitting Reba. Goes right past the critter, hits the tree, and splits it down the middle. I do believe you get a second shot.
All right. Click, click, boom.
Roll damage. So that's... Okay. Bonus action.
Nope. Got nothing else to do.
Okay. Caleb.
Okay, so I'm looking at my planar warrior, and it says that as a bonus action, I can choose something within 30 feet of me, do bad things to. Um, do I need to attack it first and then designate, or
No, designate then attack. This is basically your. This is more or less your hunter's mark.
okay? Then I designate this one.
Okay. Roll damage. Just click on hunting rifle +2.
Oh, that's what I did. I thought.
No. On where you rolled the 25,
Hmm.
Yeah,
the
in the results.
in the
Oh,
results, if you click that, that gives you your damage. And let me just double check your character sheet to see if you've actually got a hunter's mark up there. Because you should in your spells. I guess you don't. So I guess that's Planar Warrior, 3rd level, bonus action. What is it? Okay, so roll me 1d8. Okay, and you do get a second shot.
oh, okay.
At this level, you get 2 attacks.
Very nice. Okay.
No, just okay. Roll damage, and yeah, and you get sorry, that's the next time. Oh, I see. That's a bonus action. So, well, that is your bonus action for the turn. That's fine. And that's only the next time you hit the creature, so it's just the 13. So okay. Jillian.
Okay, how looking is the one that's getting shot?
It's pretty beaten up and smoldering in places.
Okie doke. Julian is going to. She's going to fire at that one with. Which one is it? Got so many smites. It's a big thing.
Oh, what a problem to have.
With Wrathful Smite.
Okay.
So she aims and fires and blows. Behold the wrath of God.
So much for your stealth. Okay. Roll damage. Okay, and then you get your
Yes, then I get a 1d6.
mhm. Okay. And yeah, you were shooting at this one.
Yes.
Okay. Second shot.
Oh, can I tell if the frighten was affected first?
Oh, hang on. Just double check a thing. Uh, what's the spell save DC?
14.
No.
Okay, and then she's going to shoot at that one.
Okay. That misses.
And
Just.
then she's going to move in front of Reba.
Okay. Right. That was kind of pissed. Has been missed a couple of times, shot a little bit too much, is not particularly happy. And this individual has turned up directly in front of it. So it is going to start clawing. Oh dear. I'm not even going to ask what your AC is now.
Oh boy.
Okay, so that's... That's 18 points of piercing damage. Second attack. Why do you want her dead? Why do you want her dead? Don't worry, that was only a 19 this time.
Oh, great.
That's 14 points of piercing damage. So then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Let's hope this one has slightly less good luck. Oh, come on! That was another fucking natural. Why are you trying to kill her? Why? Why? I'm gonna stop rolling that fucking die. I swear. 8. That's 18 points of piercing damage. I'm going to try a different die now. Thank you! That was a natural 1.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so then there's this guy who's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There we go. That was going for Reba. That misses. What's your AC?
I was just about to pull back up my my character pop out to double check that. It is 14.
That hits.
All right.
So that's 15 points of... It is slashing damage, isn't it?
Got it.
No, actually it's piercing damage, but either way it doesn't really matter all that much. And yeah, no, that's gonna set you up back a bit on your ritual. You don't have to restart it yet.
Can I make a Constitution save
Sure.
to determine whether or not that? Well,
No,
I'm assuming
this
Lorecaster, or no? Sorry.
doesn't work the same way a concentration effect does, and the
Okay.
fact that I'm giving you the opportunity to keep the ritual going rather than making you start all over at the end of combat, I think is generous enough.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know if that applied. It doesn't. That's all I need to know. My apologies.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. thankfully, because its fellow is flailing, that third one that's turned up does not actually manage to hit you. This one, meantime, is climbing 10 and going for Caleb. What's your AC?
13.
Ooh, okay, that hits. And only does 6 points of piercing damage. Second attack. That definitely hits. That's 11 points of piercing damage. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20. So that's another one that's going for Caleb. That misses. Oh, come on, not you two!
I
12.
You and your dice.
That's 24 points of piercing damage. Muffin!
Alloy is pointing at the ones immediately on top of
Well, there's two directly in Muffin's way.
exactly. Muffin is just stomping straight on and doing beep beep smash.
Okay, roll your attack, or roll Muffin's attack.
Yeah. He's
Out
gonna
of
headbutt it.
curiosity, is that move actually going to be called Beep Beep Smash? Because that's amazing.
By
Got the
Ally.
charge.
That surprisingly just misses.
Unfortunately, that's the one thing I get to do as Muffin.
Okay, so Muffin has charged up here. Oop, oop. And tried to beep beep woomph, but didn't get quite enough of a head of steam, so to speak, to really get any particular damage done. One, two, three, four. Actually, no. 2, 3, 4. This one appears to be trying to get in Alloy's general vicinity. Reba, you're kind of bleeding, but damn it, you're going to continue this fucking ritual.
Yep, that's what I'm going to do. And fuck it, it's fresh blood. I'll work that in somehow if I can.
I'll consider that. Carrying on. So let's see. 5, 10,
I'm like,
15,
it's one of those. Well,
25. All of a sudden,
use the pain, that
all
type
of a
of thing.
sudden, one of them gets right up into Alloy's face. That misses. That misses. Awesome. Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's still trying to charge to flank. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That one's going to back up friend. I think that is just about the end of my monsters. Alloy, there is critter right in your face.
Waiting for this chance. Grab the watch clock looking tool on my hip, crank it, and casting haste on myself.
Oh god. This one has ever since I let this one have the boots of haste in fucking D&D. You're as bad as Liam O'Brien, you shithead. Anyway, you know how it works by now.
Yup. let's see. um, I okay. That means I can disengage without getting a attack of opportunity,
Okay. So where are you going?
and I'm gonna go over here.
There?
Right, that space.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Okay, so that's haste. Then that's my other action from the haste. So I'm. That was all I could do, I think.
Okay. Caleb.
Hmm. Well, especially now that she's moved, and this thing that's right here on me did not do kind things to me. I want to make sure I understand it. I have this thing called Conjure Barrage, and
Barrage.
it says,
I knew that was where you were going with this. Put up the spell card, please.
how do I do that?
You guys tell him. I'm not entirely sure.
The
You
only
should be
way
able to do it by clicking on the name of the spell itself in your spell slot list. Assuming that's
Ethan,
an actual spell. What?
Yeah,
Ethan,
it's. Let me see if I can.
if it's been flipped to generate as an attack, it'll always do that no matter where you click on it.
Oh, my bad. Ah, there we
So
go.
like that.
Yeah. So if you click it back on to generate spell, then the thing. But yeah.
Spell
Alright.
card.
Okay. Let's see.
My bad.
60-foot cone. So yeah, that's. Unfortunately, 60-foot cone is by sort of volume, so it'd kind of be one, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So yeah, you're entirely likely going to get at least Reba and Muffin. Possibly Jillian. But at the same time, you're kind of swamped right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about another one of those hits from dead, so
Yeah.
that's really. I mean, I could do haste, but I don't know if that would invoke an attack of opportunity or not. And
Well,
they're
no,
all
that's
around me.
that's that's why part of why Alloy cast it, because she could use an action to disengage without provoking an attack of opportunity. It would mean that you wouldn't be able to act this round beyond getting the hell out of the way. But it's another thing you could theoretically do.
Okay. In that case, yeah, I think I would like to activate haste because that'll next round especially will open up some possibilities. I guess
Okay.
I want to move back here.
Boink. Okay. You can definitely do that. Jillian.
Jillian shoots at that wounded one.
Okay. Fire away. Roll damage. Yeah, it's really not looking very well at all. Second shot.
Then she's going to Wrathful Smite again at that one.
Okay.
Try to begone it.
Roll damage. Let's see if it. Oh, come on! They are not scared of your little blonde ass.
Uh,
Let's see, so that's 19, 24. Yeah, it's not looking overly well either, but it's still hanging on in there. You possibly should have killed that one when you had the chance.
uh,
That misses. That was a nat 1. That misses. That misses. Thankfully you are dodging quite well at this point. So that's. And then there was that one that was going for Reba. Nope. 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 Muffin!
There is one right in front of him. I think the accurate terminology here is Muffin Smash!
Roll. Nope.
Again? That is literally an identical. Ah, poor Muffin.
Yes, poor Muffin. They're weirdly dexterous little fuckers. Let's think. That one that was harassing Caleb is confused, and there's closer prey. 5, 10, book. Hello.
Yeah.
That misses.
Because that's a +2 to my AC on top of that.
What is your AC?
16 with haste on.
That just barely fucking misses. You are so very lucky. Okay, listen, that one is going to go and do some damage to Muffin.
Whoop.
What is Muffin's AC?
12.
Well, that definitely hit. That's 3, 6, 10 points of piercing damage.
I'm trying to see if I can demarcate loss of HP there anywhere.
You may just have to make mental note of it.
I'll just dig something out.
Reba still working away, I assume, since nothing's been attacking her as yet.
I am bound and determined to see this through, and if I do anything other than this, that's it. So I'm not gonna.
Yeah, these ones are at this point more or less surrounding Muffin. So that definitely hits. 12 points of piercing damage. Nope. 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 Oh, hang on. Nope. Nope. Just nope, but nope. Top of the round, Alloy. There is
Okay.
one directly in your face.
Yeah, given my accelerated speed, could I make it over here?
What's your normal speed?
Normal speed is 30.
So, yeah, there, you said?
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Next spot over.
Yeah. Is that still with disengage as an action? Or are you going to take the attack of opportunity?
I'm going to disengage first, and
Okay.
then got to go fast over there.
Okay.
And this one's still wounded.
That one's very badly wounded.
Here we go again. Click, click, bang.
Nope.
Last one I got. Click, click, bang.
Roll damage. Yeah, that one. Yeah, bits of the bits of the vines kind of catch fire and it collapses in a heap of bone. Caleb.
Okay. From my current position, can you show me where that 60-foot cone goes again?
Well, it depends on which direction you'd be pointing it into, but this 1, 2, 4, 5. 60-foot cones are hard. In this case, you'd probably still catch Reba and Muffin.
Okay. I was just looking at it, it's like, oh, hey, there's 4 of them. All right. Hmm.
Diagonal cones are damn hard.
I'm very not familiar with how that works either way because I've never played on a hex grid before.
Mm. Useful for how fast things are moving. I mean, theoretically, you could only hit Muffin and hope Muffin makes Dex save.
Yeah. Honestly, we're in such a bad position. I think I'm going to chance it. But now the other question is, do I actually attack one in particular and use that to use conjure, or is it just
No, you fire it in the air. It's the best
okay?
the best way of. And honestly, I would if I was creating this, I wouldn't have it as a cone. I'd be doing it as a circle, but that's just me. But no, you fire in the air, and you don't target anything in particular.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to do that for the one action, and then
No,
hopefully nobody.
a spell isn't. Oh no, because you've got haste. Never mind. Shut up.
So yeah, I was gonna hope that I don't hurt anybody important down there, and then use the second action to fire on this one.
Okay. So that's Dex saving throw for. Can you give a? Oh, can you do a Dex save on Muffin? I'll just make a Dex check. It's the best we can do right now.
Yep.
Wow.
What's your spell save DC?
14.
Okay, and then that one makes it. That one makes it.
Muffin's apparently a freak.
That one does not make it. That one does not make it. That one does not make it. So 2 of them take half damage. So hang on. If you have, just checking your sheet here, and spells. So oh no, that just gives the. So just roll me 3d8. We don't really have time to go messing around with it. Okay, so Muffin takes 5 points of piercing damage. So that's one's down to 10. Jillian.
Shoots at that one.
I still need to shoot at this one.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Roll damage. Yeah, it's not looking great, but you know, you've taken a chunk out of it, so that's something. Okay, sorry, Jillian, and you're shooting at that one.
Yes.
Go forth. That just misses. Only just. Ties to defender. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, that's fair. Is that one banged up already?
A little bit. Second shot.
Yeah, we'll just regular shot it
There's
again.
there's more wounded looking ones around Muffin, but
Sorry, Muffin's on there. Muffin's on its own.
roll
There we go.
damage. Yeah, that one is really not looking particularly well right now, so that's okay. There's a rattling kind of a noise from out along the tree line. And all the critters that you are currently fighting collapse into little piles of, well, not so little piles of bones and vines and tufts of flowers and fur. And then there is a voice coming from that approximate direction. You will not interfere. What comes into view does sound a lot like Reba's Undertaker, except it is a great deal taller than Reba had suggested that it was. Its hands are more claw-tipped looking, and well, yeah, it's got spectacles painted over the spots that are supposed to be eyes. There's also this jagged, evil-looking grin, so half carved into, so that it's sort of jagged at the bottom, like a nasty, snaggle-toothed grin. And everything that is divine about Jillian and everything that knows crossroadsy, reckoner-ish weird can sense the malevolent magic coming off that thing. And given that we're about that time, that's where we'll pick it up next week.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, am I glad I punched the haste button.
Yes, I will expect everybody to be keeping track of how many rounds they've had haste up.
Thankfully, that since it's concentration, it goes as long as we can keep concentrating on it while if it's cast by a spell caster.
Fair enough.
The boots.
So, you'll all keep track of how much health y'all have or have not got. And I'll see you all next week when you get to fight something that's at the very least not completely swarming you, but may or may not have actual spell slots.
Oh man, am I gonna be putting bullets into this thing?
Have a good week,
Hopefully.
guys!
See you next week.
Bye.